Construction chaos is about to meet holiday magic. How's that for a combo? In downtown Omaha, many roads are closed down, as we all know, but then the lights are going up for this year's Holiday Lights Festival.
Yes, and we're not talking about a National Lampoon's movie. Before festivities begin, Mary Ewing has a few safety reminders for all of you. First Alert 6, Sydney Babb live in our newsroom tonight with those details.
Yeah, so this combo, I'm sure it was all the talk, wasn't it? The lights and construction.
Brian and Jacqueline, anybody who's been downtown around Jean Leahy recently is familiar with all of those road closures and that streetcar construction. Now, with the Holiday Lights Festival that's happening in that same area, I asked Mayor Ewing how that would impact celebrations this year. He said that everything is going to proceed as normal with the lighting ceremony on Saturday, November 29th. The following weekend, they'll have the Ollie the Trolley service, and then the New Year's Eve fireworks will happen December 31st. But to make sure you and your family can enjoy all of those events safely, Mayor Ewing had a few suggestions.
Well, one of the things we always have to do as drivers is make sure that we're paying close attention, especially at events like this, for pedestrians, people who might be riding a bike or other means of transportation, and just slow down. The festival is going to go on, and you don't have to be in a hurry and take risks that put other people in jeopardy.
He also suggested that you arrive early to all of those events and find parking ahead of time. I also talked with him about the Shine the Light on Hunger campaign that runs during the Lights Festival. He and the Food Bank for the Heartland CEO explained how donor fatigue after the shutdown can play a role in giving. I'll have that story for you tonight at 6. In the newsroom, I'm Sydney Babb, First Alert 6.